The official cause was listed as a heart attack, but conflicting autopsy reports left more questions than answers. If Elvis had faked his death, where would he have gone? How could someone as famous as him disappear without a trace? And then, in 1981, just 4 years after his reported passing, a man named Pastor Bob Joyce appeared in Arkansas. At first glance, he was simply a preacher with a deep passion for gospel music, leading a small congregation with sermons filled with warmth, wisdom, and soul-stirring hymns. But for those who had spent years analyzing every aspect of Elvis's life, something about Pastor Bob felt familiar. The resemblance was striking. The same sharp cheekbones, the same deep-set eyes that carried a lifetime of experience. His voice, rich, smooth, and unmistakably Southern, sent chills down the spines of those who had spent their youth listening to Elvis's gospel recordings. It wasn't just that he sang gospel music, it was the way he sang it. The same soul, the same emotion, the same unmistakable tone that millions had once heard from the king himself. But it wasn't just the voice, or the face, or even the music. It was the way he carried himself. The small habits that couldn't be imitated, the tilt of his head, the way he smiled at his congregation, the casual way he gestured with his hands. It felt too specific, too natural to be an act. People who attended his sermons felt like they had stepped back in time, watching a man who should have been long gone. And that's when the real theories began to take shape. If Pastor Bob really was Elvis, then where had he been for those 4 missing years? Supporters of the theory believe it was the perfect amount of time to transition into a new life. Long enough to let the public accept his death, but short enough for him to step back into a quieter existence without raising too much suspicion. The argument goes that Elvis, exhausted by the pressures of fame, chose to disappear, using those years to rebuild himself outside of the public eye before re-emerging as a humble preacher, free from the chaos that had once consumed him. Think about it. Elvis had always struggled with fame. He adored his fans, but he was also trapped by his own success. The constant scrutiny, the relentless touring, the expectation to always be Elvis the superstar instead of just Elvis the man.